Hello students, hope you are doing good at home. Hope you all are studying at home. We are studying the topic of human health and diseases, and I have started with the topic of diseases. And you can see in earlier videos we have discussed some diseases, and today we are going to start with another disease, and the name of disease is cancer. Students, we are already acquainted about the name cancer, right? That the person is suffering from cancer, it is on the first stage, second stage, last stage. What does this mean? And so many things which have been related to the cancer. Yes, students, actually in this topic of the cancer disease, first of all, we are going to study what do you mean by cancer. Yes, and I have already elaborated, I have written some points related to the disease cancer. And one by one, we are going to study in detail about the disease cancer. Yes, student. So shall we start? So first of all, as we are starting with the disease called cancer, yes, we are starting with a disease called cancer. So first of all, we can see what do you mean by what is the definition related to the disease cancer. The definition is as such. You can see abnormal division of abnormal, uncontrollable, purposeless division of cells. Abnormal, uncontrollable, purposeless division of cell which may lead to the formation or development of undifferentiated cells. Which may lead to the formation or development of undifferentiated cell, that is tumor. That is tumor, and tumor is malignant. Tumor is malignant. First of all, I am going to emphasize on the term cancer. जब कभी कैंसर हुआ है तो स्टार्टिंग में हमने देखा है कि डेफिनेशन में क्या लिखा है. Abnormal means definitely it is not the reason of the formation of cancer. Yes, abnormal, uncontrollable means going to be divided uncontrollably. Purposeless means there is of no use. Yes, definitely when they are going to form a mass undifferentiated, when they are going to form the mass that is undifferentiated, definitely they have been called as tumor. And tumor is malignant. I am just going to emphasize this, that if they are being tumor, definitely it is malignant. Yes, either when it is related to cancer, and when we are studying about cancer, yes, tumor is malignant means what? It is cancerous, and it is going to cause the disease, or it can it is going to cause the disease. Yes, as you can see about the malignant word, it is going to emphasize that it is dangerous, it is cancerous. Right, students? So first of all, we have discussed about the definition of cancer: abnormal, uncontrollable division of cells. Yes, that is formation. That when the cells are divided, they are forming or developing a mass. Now, when this mass is there, these masses of cells, they are not being differentiated. They have not been undifferentiated. Means they are going to be remaining in the tumor form. Now, that tumor is malignant. Means that is cancerous. Yes, now as they are forming, first thing is that when the cancer has been observed, yes, you can see as the cancer has been there, it is going to invade. Yes, it is going to interfere in the normal functioning of the human body. When it comes to the second point, you can see that it is neoplasm. When it comes to the neoplasm, what does this mean? Neoplasm is what? When the cancerous cell or the tumors, yes, when they invade, yes, when they are forming the masses of tissue, yes, they are forming the lumps, and they have been transported to the other parts of the body or the organs. It is been termed as neoplasm. Neoplasm is what? The cancerous cells which are going to invade which are going to interfere. Yes, as they are invade or they are interfering the normal functioning of the body, where they are forming the lumps, or they are forming the masses of tissue. At that particular time, there is being called as neoplasm. It means what? Definitely they are going to interfere in the normal functioning. Slowly they are going to cause what? They are going to show their symptoms, and definitely it is going to cause the person suffering from the disease which we call as cancer. The third point which I have written, that is being called as oncologist. The third term I have written point, that is oncologist. Oncologists are what? Oncologists are the physicians or the researchers. Yes, they are the physicians or the researchers which try to diagnose, they give treatment, as well as they help the persons to stop that, prevent for the formation or the start of the prevention of the cancer disease. Yes, I'll again repeat it, that when it comes to the oncologists are the physicians, or these are the researchers which help the person. Yes, they are going to help to diagnose the disease, they are going to help to they are going to give the treatment to the disease. Yes, also they are going to help out to stop the prevention. Definitely they are going to prevent the cure. Yes, they are going to prevent from the diseases. Definitely they are being called as oncologists. Now here students, you can see that the tumors, we have earlier we have studied about the tumor, right? Tumor is malignant and when they are cancerous, when we were discussing about the definition. Now when I am mentioning here tumors, you can see that the tumors are being classified into two parts. Yes, they have been divided into two types. Here you can see the benign or non-malignant tumor, and the next one you can see it is being called as malignant tumor. Yes. Now, first of all, I'll let you know what do you mean benign or the malignant. Non-malignant tumor, it means what? They are not going to be the cancerous cell. It means the division of cells takes place, the masses of tissues takes place, yes, the formation or the masses of cells form the tumor, but they are not the cancerous cells. Whereas, when it comes to the malignant, they are the cancerous cells. Now, in detail, we are going to study about the benign or the benign or non-malignant, or another one you can call as malignant tumor. First of all, when it comes to the benign tumor, when I am telling about the benign tumor, definitely you can see that the cells are going to divide and re-divide continuously, uncontrollably, right students? Here you can see. Here, in benign or the non-malignant tumors, we can observe non-malignant. The very first thing I'll let you know that they are not the cancerous cell. Yes. Second thing, here you can see that they have been restricted to a particular area. It means they are not going to move to the other parts of the body or the other organs of the body. Right. So here you can observe that they are restricted to the particular area. Exception cases as such, when you can observe that. Example, exception cases means what? That exception case, when the benign or the non-malignant tumor, when they have been causing in the brain tumor. Yes, such tumor, when they are restricted in the brain, definitely it can cause death. But here you can observe exception cases in brain tumor, where a person can cause death. Whereas, I am not telling exception case, I have told you. Now we are going to study the regular case. When it comes to the regular case, you can see that these type of tumor or the masses of undifferentiated cells have been present in the bodies of the person. Those cells are not the cancerous cell. Yes, they are the non-cancerous cell. They have been mentioned as the adenoma, or they have been called as fibroid. So from whom they have been observed, you can observe that the adenoma is been retained, that they have been observed in the glands. Whereas the fibroids are the forms of long thread-like structures which have been observed basically in women, where the uterus body contains, or the uterus, which is the part of the woman body, you can observe organ which contains what? Which contains a fibroid form or the thread-like structure form. Even that type of cells are non-cancerous cells. Yes, so when I am mentioning about the benign or the non-malignant tumor, I'll first of all let you know that such a type of a tumor which have been restricted to a particular area. It means they are not going to move from one part of the other part of the body, right? Second thing, such tumor are non-cancerous. It means they are not going to harm the human body. As they are not going to harm the human body, they are going to remain as it is in the human body. Yes, I have mentioned the two examples. One is being called as adenoma, the other is being called as fibroid. These are the two cases where the benign or the non-malignant tumor are being present in the human body. And these type of tumor are not going to cause any harm to the human body. So where does you can see the adenoma and fibroid are being present? Adenoma is generally present in the glands. Yes, these masses of the tissue cells have been present in the glands. And second, I have mentioned fibroids. Fibroids are basically observed in the woman body. Woman, where you can observe that the uterus part of their body uterus part of the body contains long thread-like structure which have been called as fibroid. Now even they are not going to cause cancer. That comes what when the benign or the non-malignant tumors are non-cancerous cell. Even I have told you the exception. Exception will be what? When such kind of tumor is occurring in the human body in the brain part. At that particular time, definitely it is going to cause the death. Right? Next, as you can see that it is going next is what? As it is going to restrict the area, it is going to squeeze the hard skull. Automatically, a person is going to die. So here we have discussed about the benign or non-malignant tumor. Next, we are going to discuss about the malignant tumor. When it comes to the malignant tumor, the first thing which comes to your mind is what? That these are the cancerous cells. Yes, students, these are the cancerous cells. We are going to compare this malignant with benign or the non-malignant tumor. Means what? The malignant tumor, they are going to cause the death. Definitely, they are going to cause the rapid growth compared to benign. It means here the growth of the cell or the division of cell is going to be very rapidly. Comparatively, you can observe here in malignant tumor, the causes of death are going to be more compared to benign, because here you can see only we have seen the exception of brain tumor. But here in malignant, you can see that all of them are the cancerous. Definitely, it is going to invade the normal function of the body. Automatically, they are going to cause the death to the human body. Yes, so as you can see, comparatively, it is going to be more hazardous or it is going to harm the human body. Here we have seen it is going to restrict it. Here you can see that it is not going to be restricted to the particular. Definitely, it is going to, yes, exactly. It is going to move to one part of the body to another part of the body with the help of blood or lymph. When these cells, masses of cells, when they move from one part of the body to another part or the organ of the body, and at that particular time even they are going to cause the harm to the human body, that term is being called as metastasis. Yes, the term is being called as metastasis. Students, I have mentioned the metastasis. What is metastasis? When the cancerous cells, they have been present in one part of the body and they move to the another part of the body or the not part of the body, organ of the body, you can see with the help of via blood or via lymph, definitely they are going to the term is being called as metastasis. Now, till now we have discussed about the tumors. Now we are going to discuss about the types of cancer. Here I have already written the types of cancer. We are going to see that which type of cancers they are going to cause. Now, first, carcinoma, sarcoma, lymphoma, leukemia, adeno carcinoma. Here I have already written that at what body part they are, you can see that where they can be observed. Now basically I have already written that carcinoma is been present at the epithelial tissue. Carcinoma is been present at the epithelial tissue or the lining part of the body. Here you can see that the carcinoma is going to be present at the such type of cancer is been observed in the epithelial tissue or the lining of the body at that particular time. Which are the cancer causes organs? At here you can see skin cancer, stomach cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer. So these are the types of what? These are the 5 types of cancer where you can see the epithelial tissues are present and automatically you can see that they are present at the lining, skin, stomach. You can see they are the lining part of the body. Or also they contain what? They contain epithelial tissue. So these are the, or you can call it as the cancers which have been present in the, or we can call them as carcinoma which has been present in epithelium. In the same way we are going to study another one. Sarcoma, which means what? That the cancer which has been caused in the connective tissue. Yes, sarcoma where the tissue, where you can see that it is being present in the connective part of the body. They can be bone, muscle, cartilage. Yes, students, they can be adipose. So these are what? These are the types. We can see that they are the connective part of our body. When it comes to the bone, yes, you can call it as osteo cancer. Yes, next you can see when it comes to the muscles, mycocancer, mycosarcoma. Yes, so when it comes to, you can have to mention it about mycosarcoma. When it comes to the third one, which I have called you what? cartilage. It is going to be the chondrosarcoma. Last you can see the adipose. It is going to call as liposarcoma. Automatically you just have to name as sarcoma, and you can see that what osteosarcoma, mycosarcoma. It means what you have to name them as after a sarcoma. Bone, muscle, yes, bone, muscle, cartilage, and lastly you can see the adipose. Next, we are going to study about the lymphoma. When it comes to the lymphoma, this is a type of cancer which is going to invade or which is going to infect the lymphatic system or the lymphatic system of the vessels. When it is going to cause the lymphatic system, automatically it is going to affect the lymphatic system which contains, yes, also you can call as the lymphatic system, though you can observe that it is been present in the spleen. So here you can call it as spleen cancer. Yes, not as you can call it as spleen cancer, but basically when it comes to the lymphatic system, it is going to invade in the lymphatic system. The cancer is being caused in spleen or the lymphatic system, right, student? Next, when it comes to the next part, we can type of cancer, leukemia. Here you can see the WBC. WBC means what? White blood corpuscles, or you can call it them as the leukocytes. Students, we are mentioning as the leukocytes. What do you mean by leukocytes? When we call as the WBC or the leukocytes. Uncontrollable division of or the billions of WBCs are been increasing. Yes, billions of WBCs are been counts are increasing in the human body. At that particular time, the person is suffering from the disease which we call as the leukemia. Now the leukemia WBC counts when they increase uncontrollably. Yes, in the blood automatically. Here you can see that it is being called as leukemia. Next, when it is being called as adeno. Yes, adeno carcinoma. When it comes to the adeno carcinoma, it means what? Definitely this type of cancer is been observed in the glands. It means what? The glands which have been present in our body. Type of glands means what? Pituitary gland, thyroid gland, the body part which contains what? Which contains the glands. At that particular time we call them as adenocarcinoma. Yes, students. So here we have discussed that types of cancer they were carcinoma, sarcoma, lymphoma, leukemia, and adenocarcinoma. Next point of the topic, next point of the disease which we are going to discuss is being called as causes of cancer. Now, here you can see these are the 5 points where you can see that the cancer can cause. Basically, you can see that it has not been invented or it has not been observed from what, yes, the cancer is being caused. So definitely some of the things which is going to cause the cancer, it is been named as carcinogenic. If suppose the chemicals are there, definitely they have been named as the carcinogenic chemicals. For example, nicotine, caffeine, these are the carcinogenic substances. So at that particular time, as it has been not found that this is because of these the cancer is been caused. But the substance which can cause the cancer, it has been named as the carcinogenic. Right? And here we are going to see that what are the main causes of the cancers. What are the main causes of cancer? They are chemicals, radiation, viruses, oncogene, and addiction. As you can see, one by one we are going to discuss among this one. So the first one which we are going to discuss is the chemicals. Chemicals, it means what? That the substance which is going to contain chemical and which is going to harm to our body. For example, nicotine, caffeine, these are the chemicals which affects to our body and they are the carcinogenic substance. Now these are the substance. Also you can see that the chemicals, yes, also you can see that the chemicals like the sex hormones, yes, which are where you can observe that hormonal imbalance takes place, and because of that, or the steroid, the sex hormone contains what? It contains the steroid. If the sex hormone releases the steroid, or the steroid which are being secreted or which are being taken up, at that particular time even they are the carcinogenic. Yes. Also, you can see that the carcinogenic chemicals, like if the mother is avoiding the breastfeeding, at that particular time, even the person at that particular time the hormonal imbalance takes place, and because of that also you can see that the cancer can cause. So here we have discussed the 3 points. Because of that the chemicals is related and the person can cause cancer. They are the chemicals of caffeine, nicotine we have discussed, the chemicals which have been related Either it can be secreted by the body or either they have been taken, which we have discussed, that was the steroid. And lastly we have discussed that the mother, if it is been avoiding to give the, or it is avoiding the breastfeeding at that particular the time, during avoiding, definitely a hormonal imbalance takes place, and because of that the breast cancer can occur. Now the next point which has been related is the radiation. Now if the person or the people who are having the direct incidence of the lights, which type of light, UV, X-rays, gamma rays, such type of light, and their incidence, definitely direct incidence of such type of sunlight can cause what? Can cause the skin cancer. Now when we have discussed about the radiation, yes, people who are suffering from skin cancer, basically they are having the direct incidence of the sunlight. Right students, so here you can see that the cause of cancer is going to be the sunlight, where the UV, X-ray, gamma rays are being directly incident on the person, or those who are being working as or as on the sunny day, definitely they can suffer from such type of disease, skin cancer. Next we are going to discuss about the viruses. Now when we are discussing about the viruses, here you can see that the viruses, that is going to be the viral oncogene. Yes, that is going to be the viral oncogene. Here you can see that also the viruses which are being mentioned over here, that is going to be human papillomavirus, yes, or also it is being given Epstein-Barr virus. These are the viruses which have been present in the body, which have been given, or which have been because of that the person can suffer from the disease, or disease which we call as cancer. So these are the type of viruses. Yes, human papillomavirus or the Epstein-Barr virus, which are the viruses which can cause the disease which we call as cancer. Now also you can see, again I have mentioned the oncogene. Here I have called it as what? Viral oncogene. Now I am mentioning as the oncogene. Here you can see that it is being called as the cellular oncogene, and also you can call it as proto-oncogene. Now these are the type of cellular. We can mention that the oncogenes, where the cellular and proto-oncogene are naturally been present in the cells. Yes, these are the genes, yes, which are all naturally been present in the cells. But when they get activated, when these type of cells, when these type of genes, when they get activated, and because of that you can observe that the person can cause the cancer. So when these type of cellular oncogenes get activated, automatically the person is going to suffer from the disease called cancer. Next you can see that is addiction. Addiction is what? Addiction by which the person cannot stay. Addiction to the many things which can be smoking, drinking, drugs, and so many, chewing of tobacco, and so many things. When the person is addicted to so many harmful diseases, harmful substances, definitely they can cause cancer. For example, if the chewing of tobacco is there, a person can suffer from the mouth cancer. Also, they can suffer from the lip cancer, tongue cancer. So these are the various ways you can see that the person can suffer from the cancer. As you can see that the drugs are also being present in the addiction. A drug is also a substance which present in the addiction. As you can see, the marijuana, barbiturate, these are the substances, or heroin, cocaine. These are the drugs which are the addicted person. These are the drugs by which, or you can call as the addicted person, definitely going to take this type of drugs, and they are going to cause the cancer. So these are the causes which we have discussed about the cancer, that are chemicals. We have discussed radiation, viruses, oncogene, and addiction. Lastly, here we have discussed about so many parts, and the last, not the least, we are going to discuss about the treatment of cancer. When we are discussing about the term, or we are discussing about the last point of the disease which we call as the cancer, treatment of cancer, they include such type of therapies. Yes, they include such type of therapies. They are chemotherapy, radiotherapy, surgery, immunotherapy, and supportive type of therapy. One by one we are going to discuss them in detail. First of all, we are going to discuss about the chemotherapy. What do you mean by chemotherapy? It means what the chemical substance have been are been present. Also you can call as the anti-cancer drug. Also you can call as the anti-cancer drugs. Now these anti-cancer drugs are what they are. The anti-cancer drugs definitely they are more toxic to the cancerous cells. Yes, as you can see, अगर हम लोग देखते हैं कि कैंसरस सेल अगर टॉक्सिक है तो एंटी कैंसर ड्रग्स उन टॉक्सिक सेल से वो कैंसर सेल से भी ज्यादा टॉक्सिक रहेंगे और इसीलिए जब हम लोग केमोथेरेपी पढ़ते हैं तो हियर यू कैन सी दैट द डीएनए सिंथेसिस टेक प्लेस एंड व्हेन द डीएनए सिंथेसिस टेक्स प्लेस when it has been seen during, as you can observe that the person is suffering from the disease called cancer. Yes, the DNA synthesis is been done of the cells, and when the cells of DNA synthesis is been done of such type of cell, the anti-cancer drugs are being provided. Now, as these anti-cancer drugs are more toxic, definitely they are having the more harmless to the human body. It can cause the loss of hair, it can cause the anemia. Yes, so because of that the person can become bald or also the person is going to have the lack of blood. Yes, so as you can see that these are the side effects because of chemotherapy. But as soon as the chemotherapy is being stopped, the person can recover from so many things, from these things as well. It means what the loss of hair is going to stop. Again, also the loss of blood is going to be recovered. So during only the time of therapy that the side effects are going to be there, but after that they can be recovered. So chemotherapy is a type of anti-cancer drugs which are being synthesized during the DNA synthesis, and also you can see that they are more toxic to the cancerous cell. Now when it comes to the radiotherapy, now also you can see that we have already discussed about the radiation, where you can see that it can cause the radiation. Now when we are discussing about the radiotherapy, you can observe that the particles, yes, the particles which are being seen, what particles rays, yes, that's we can call it as the gamma rays, X rays. Yes, these are the rays which are being called, which contains the particles. Now definitely when the radiotherapy is being given, yes, simultaneously the chemotherapy is also being considered. It means what these two therapy are being going with respect to chemotherapy, radiotherapy is also being given. Yes, the second point you can see that when it comes to the radiotherapy, the radiations are being passed, and such radiations are going to contain what? It's going to carry the particles. When they are carrying the particles, you can observe that these particles are going to directly affect or directly destroy the cancerous cells, or they are going to directly destroy the tissues which contains what? Which contains the cancer. Right? So here we have discussed about the radiotherapy, where the radiations are being passed to the cells of the tissue which contains the cancerous cell. Also, a very important point that it is not going to harm to the normal cells or the tissue which are being present around to the cancerous cells or the tissue. It is a very important point. As we have seen that chemotherapy had the side effects, but the radiotherapy is not having the side effects. Yes, student. Next, when you can see about the surgery. Surgery is the technique where the tumor or the cells or the tissues are being removed surgically. When they are being removed surgically, automatically, definitely you can see that the person is going to get cured. This case is been observed when the person is suffering, when the human body is suffering from the breast cancer, yes, or the uterus cancer. So these are the parts of the body which can be removed surgically, and when they are being removed surgically, automatically even the tumor part is also being removed surgically. Right, students? Now we are discussing about the immunotherapy. When it comes to the immunotherapy, it has been called as what? To increase the immune system of the person who is suffering from the disease, or the treatment is been given to prevent from the disease. Yes, when the suffering, if suppose a person has been removed surgically some type of tumor, but then to that particular case, immunotherapy can be given, right, to increase the immune system so that they can be prevented to cause the cancer. So when it comes to the immunotherapy, you can see that the person is being given and biological modifiers. Yes, the person is being given and biological modifiers. Now these biological modifiers are being called as alpha. Yes, they have been called as alpha. 1 minute, students. Alpha interferon. Yes, so it is being called as what? It is being called as the biological modifiers their immune system. So it is a type of an additional therapy which is being given to the human body. Yes, so that they can be treated very nicely and to increase their, to destroy all type of cells, and or if they cannot occur again. So such type of therapy is called as supportive therapy. So here in all we have discussed about the whole disease which we call as the cancer, and I have mentioned it as an important point so that you can you can easily recover, or you can you can easily recollect the points related to related or the based on such type of disease. So what we have to discuss? Cancer. We have to learn the definition. What do you mean by neoplasm? Oncologist, tumors, types of cancer, causes of cancer, and lastly we can see about the treatment of cancer. Students, hope you all understand, or hope you all had understood the concept of disease which we have discussed, that was cancer. Till then, do study at home. Thank you.